Hi, it's Patsy. So I've popped on today to do my April update, what I've been up to and the new decks and that what I've brought into my collection. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Tarot Vintage, a Scarabeo deck. The only other really Rider-Waite that I have is the Radiant Rider-Waite, and this is on the opposite end of the spectrum. This is more vintagey, muted colours, and I love the coloration of this. I do love bright colours as well, but there is times that I want a more muted deck, a more vintagey feeling deck. So this one will tick that box, and then when I want to use something with a bit more colour and a bit more vibrancy, then I can use my Radiant Rider-Waite. Get my words out this morning. But yeah, so this is, like I said, it's the Tarot Vintage. Lovely cardstock as always, but I do find those Scarabeo cardstock really good anyway. I've used this a few times this month, and it's a lovely deck to work with. And yeah, I'm glad I've got that in my collection. Like I said, it just gives me that both ends of the spectrum on colour versions of that particular deck. So that's the Tarot Vintage. The next one I brought in is another deck I've already got, the Gilded Tarot. Now I've already got that. I do hate these front opening boxes. I do have the Gilded Tarot, but this is the Gilded Tarot Royale. And I do love Kiro Marchetti decks. I do have quite a few of his decks. This is a Llewellyn, so it's a little bit shinier than some decks, but I love the coloration of this deck. Like I said, I did have the Gilded Tarot, which had the borders, which I did enjoy working with, but this deck, the colours just seem to really stand out, and the no borders, when they're all together, it just really works really well. I've used this deck quite a lot since I bought it this April. I think I got it around the beginning of April, and I've used it for a lot of spreads, and like I've really enjoyed working with it. So yeah, like I said, I do like his artwork anyway. I love the deep colours, and I love how his coloration really makes the suit stand out. So yeah, so that is the Gilded Tarot Royale. The only thing that I'm not keen on with what and how it come was in one of these front boxes. You know what I mean? The ones where they come like that, and then you have to, don't like that at all. I'm gonna have to find a bag or something for that to go into, because I tend to drop it quite a few times. If I'm holding it the wrong way, it just slides out. Anyway, that's beside the point. The next one that I got is one that I had on pre-order with Amazon, and it kept pushing back and pushing back. I eventually got it this month, the Lunar edition of the Ethereal Visions Tarot. So I do have the Ethereal Visions, the original one, but there is card changes and coloration changes, etc. in this deck, and more diversity and what have you. So I went ahead and ordered it, even though some cards are exactly the same as in the original. It's the same card stock as the original one, same beautiful artwork, and yeah, it's a beautiful deck, and I've used it a few times since getting it, and it reads really well. I love this foiling on there. But yeah, I know, like I said, I've got the original, but I just thought this was more updated, if you like. But it's a lovely little deck, and I'm enjoying using it. So I bought, like, that one came in April. Like I said, it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back, as they tend to do on Amazon. And that was a US game system deck. So my last tarot deck is one that I'd had a long time ago, and I got rid of it because I never used it, but I brought it back, but more for a study deck than anything, and it's the Herbal Crafters Tarot. Again, US Games. Again, a beautiful deck. I've always loved the deck. The images. I did actually see somebody who'd cut all the borders off and it looks stunning, but with my eyes I can't do that. But the actual deck is gorgeous. But what I want to do with this deck is use it as a more of a study deck than anything. Pull a card a day with it and then journal on the herb and that, what's depicted, and expand on her message and all about the card and what have you, and kind of just get more of an awareness for the herbs, as well as why she chose that for the meanings. So I'm really looking forward to doing this as a study. It'll probably be the summer months before I get a start on that, because I'm busy studying other things at the minute. But I brought this in ready. I mean, I have been just pulling cards with it and using it as a tarot, and I have done a spread with it and it works really lovely as a tarot. But yeah, I did want to use it more as a study deck. I'm just going to buy another journal for that, and like I said, it will be the summer months, I should think, before I get a chance to do that. But it's a gorgeous deck and I just have to have it back in my collection. So that's the Herb Crafters Tarot. So that's all the tarots. So now we'll go on to the oracles. So the first one I got here is the Citadel, a fantasy oracle. It's in one of those boxes what slide out. Ooh, open it up. This deck is so different from, try and put that book back in the box. I know a lot of people have been showing this lately. Cardstock is really good, and the images, I really enjoy the images. I've used it a few times. I won't use it as a game because I know that it can be used as a game, but I actually been using it as an oracle, and that's what I bought it for. And I've read the little book what comes with it to try and get a little bit of understanding. But just as an oracle with 1 card or 3 cards or whatever, this has been spot on for me. Do you know what I mean? It's been really, really good. It's like a little fortune telling deck, really. But yeah, I really, really enjoy this deck. It's completely different to what I've got. But yeah, I'm glad I've got that. So that is another one what I bought in, the Citadel. And like I said, that is something that I'm enjoying since I got it. So the next one is the Herbal Astrology Oracle, and this is by Adriana Ayales. And Josephine Clerks is the artwork. Get this little book with it. There's the backs. This wasn't an expensive deck, I don't believe. But yeah, I love the imagery on it, and it incorporates the herbs and the cards and what have you, but also the planets associated with it. So that's why it's the astrology, herbal astrology. And I'm at the minute, this is the one that I'm picking one a day off to get my message, but also looking at the herbs that they've associated with that message. So this is very similar again to a study deck, but it's not. I'm not doing it so in depth as I want to the Herb Crafters. That'll probably come afterwards. But yeah, I'm really enjoying working with this. Cardstock's lovely, and the book is really good with it. You do get like keywords for upright and reverse. Then you get a bit about the actual herb that they're using, and then you get a guidance there as well. So that's a nice little deck. So that's the Herbal Astrology Oracle. So that was another one what came in. That's 53 cards, that one. And I don't know who this one is. Hay House. That's a Hay House deck. So this one I showed in my, or the last two I'm going to show you are 2 decks that I already shown in my Cozy Decks tag. The Oracle of the Roses by Sherilyn Darcy. Again, I'll just quickly talk about this one. the backs, and that's the edging. The reason that I'm going more in depth in that Cozy Decks one, the reason I got this was a specific reason to connect to my grandmother on my maternal side, my Nan Hilda. She loved roses. Everything was roses for her. And this was specifically bought to feel connected to her. I lost her when she was 58 in 1988, a long time ago now. She's been gone. And it's just my way of connecting. And it's a beautiful deck. This deck was only something like £13 from Amazon. It was really cheap. The book again is really good. This is a rock pool. You get a small image of the card, then you get the oracle meaning there, and then you get an botanical archetype exploration, botanical notes, and then plant energies. So you get all that for each card, so it's like 2 pages. So that's a lovely little deck that I'm really enjoying using. The last one again is one that I showed. It's got sticky backs. Must have stood that on something. I must remember to write that down. It's the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle, which is, excuse me, the mass market edition. And I'm loving this deck. They're quite long, slim decks, slim cards rather, and I'm really enjoying this. I love the artwork. I love this when I saw it as an indie deck, but I just couldn't afford to buy the indie deck. And then when I heard it was coming out mass market, I knew I would have to get it. There's just something about this. I just love this, the fox. It's a beautiful deck. There we go. I'm not going to show too much because I showed that in the Cozy Decks. Look at this, stunning. And it's a lovely deck just to kind of do a reading of wooded card a day, or a little bit of a spread, because I do use oracles for spreads, or just to add to a tarot reading for clarity. So now I'm going to go on to books. This one is the first one I got, which was, I got this a few months ago. This is the Madame Pimita book that she brought out, Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft. Excellent book if you're interested in Baba Yaga and that Ukrainian sort of witchcrafty stuff. I've really enjoyed it. I've not read all of it. I've enjoyed reading some of the stories about Baba Yaga, because there's always like this one, Baba Yaga shares the wisdom, and then you get like a story thing there, a folk tale, and then there's all different things in here. Excuse me, I've got a tickly cough. There, you've got contents at the front. There we go, you've got contents at the front, and it's all different, like goes into the folk tales of that area. It says in the back, discover ancient and modern Slavic magical practice through stories told by the legendary Baba Yaga herself. Learn about the magic of the sun, moon and stars, and as well as the magic of weather, animals, seasons, stones, food, beeswax and more. Each chapter includes a piece of fairy tale, and then it goes on. It talks about protective amulets, it talks about how to make the dolls, and even how to, where's it gone? There you go. She even goes into the cross-stitching of the folk patterns that was knitted, crocheted onto garments and what have you. Great little book. I'll dig in and out of it. I don't really read it thingy, but yeah, it was a nice little book. But like I said, that's more sort of going towards the Ukrainian side. The next one I got was the Slavic Witchcraft book. This was by Natasha Helvin. Again, I've been digging in and out. It's just one of those books where you can just dig in and out of it, and it just says, passed down through generations, the Slavic practice of magic, witchcraft and sorcery is still alive and well in Russia, the Ukraine and Belarus, as well as the Balkans and the Baltic states. Again, this one tends to go more, very similar to the Baba Yaga, more towards that Russian, you know, that kind of, that area, rather than the Balkans. But it's still interesting, it's still part of that Slavic witchcraft. So it's got a little bit at the front about sources of magical power, talismans, magical actions, and similarities to voodoo, and who are the sorceresses in Russia, and all that kind of stuff, folklore. And then that goes up until page 32, and then it goes on to spells. So that's all spells, all different kind of spells, whether that's for love and relationships, whether it's for protections, whether it's for money, wealth and business. There's loads and loads of spells there that all come from that Russian area. Again, it's one I've just sort of digged in and out of at the minute. I have to be careful because of my eyes, so I don't read for too much. So the last one that I bought, which came a couple of weeks ago, I'm really looking forward to diving in, but my eyes just haven't been good enough, is this one, The Balkan Traditional Witchcraft. This is more the area that, you know, I'm connected to, and this is published in English for the first time by Radomir Ristic, and it's a compilation of historical data, anthropological studies, and the author's own experiences and interviews with the witches of the Balkans, covering both theory and practice. This book gives a complete system of the Balkan traditional witchcraft. So I'm really looking forward to digging into that. It's lots of words, so it's something that I'm going to have to dig in and out of when my eyes allow me. Like I said, the other two books are good, and I've kind of got a bit of insight by those, but I think the one more for me is that Balkan one that I showed you at the end. So the last thing that I've been doing this month is a study of the runes. There's just a little notebook that I bought, just one of those cheap ones, just to do a bit of study. I think my daughter bought me these a long time ago. I don't know if you can, you never know which way to go on here. They're on rose quartz. She bought me these a while ago, and I've always said that I would get to grips with runes, but it's something I haven't. But this month I was really called to start working with them. So I'm in the process of doing a bit of a study on them and finding out more about them. Eventually I got round to it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm enjoying it so far. And everything's being recorded in this little book, practice readings and all the rest of it. So yeah, so that's what this month took up with, is the runes. And that's why I'm saying I couldn't really go on to the Herb Crafters Tarot probably till summer, because I want to get this runes sorted and have a better understanding of those first before I move on to the Herb Crafters. I don't want too much going on at once, because I want to try and find time to read some of the book and look more into that. So that is what's kept me going in April. And yeah, it's gone really fast, I think, really fast. I've got a couple more decks coming because it's my birthday month this month, so I'm looking forward to those when they come. I'll probably show you them when they come. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.